Kerry Perkinson is an amazing, amazing leader, and she is going to come in and talk about a really important topic. It's building your confidence and handling objections. So, Kerry, I am going to turn it over to you. Oh, are we there, Kerry? Hopefully, Kerry's
I'm
there.
here. I'm here. Sorry,
Yay!
my screen stopped wanting to share, but that's okay. We're going to roll anyway. Oh, here it is. Okay, overcoming objections. This is absolutely one of my favorite topics because I would love to hear in the chat if you've ever had objections. Because if once we learn to overcome them, we are just unstoppable. Can you guys all see my screen? Okay. So we've heard from Beck, we're setting up, we are getting ready to be mainstream. And then we heard from Cassie all how we are going to fill our funnels. But if we have not figured out how to handle objections, the first time we get them, we are going to want to quit. And I am here to tell you, I am a prime example of that. When I came here, so many objections. I've been here 18 months. And if I had quit the first time I started to get a lot of objections, I would have never hit diamond. But Sarah gave me such a wise quote yesterday. She said, you know what? Sometimes that posture of I am going to do this with or without you. I'd like you to do this with me, but I'm going to do this anyway. That just sets us up for amazing success. And so I want you guys to just put that posture on as we talk through some objections and watch your business soar. So, one of the reasons that hitting objections is honestly a really good thing is one of two things. One, if we are not having conversations, we won't have objections. So if we're having objections, it means we are having conversations that are propelling our business. And two, it provides the opportunity to learn a new skill, how to overcome that. And it is a great opportunity to look at our systems and the trainings that we have in place and just constantly be refining them for the objections that we are getting. So I am going to touch on a couple things. One, why we get objections. Two, common objections, and then how we respond. And I'm apologizing when I get super nervous. I talk really fast, and this is a skill I am learning in 2024 is saying yes. So we need to remember the more we practice, the better we are going to get at them. And quite honestly, I love them and I have fun with them now. And I want you guys to do that as well. The first thing we need to remember when we get an objection is do not take it personal. It is not personal. There is a reason they have that objection, and it is our job to ask the questions and to get to that objection so that we are able to provide a solution. And a lot of times the reason we're getting the objections is belief system, whether it is a belief in the products, the company, the industry, a lack of belief in themselves that they can do this. That's why a lot of people, it's natural to just put up a wall. And the next big thing is, are we painting the picture that they see themselves in the outcome? They see themselves as part of the solution so that they are fully invested in this, and then we will have a lot less obstacles. Um, so, um, Oh, next slide. Okay, let's jump in to some objections. I want you to think about objections like this. An infomercial. Think of an infomercial. We talked about the Stanley Cup. So many of us have been influenced by the Stanley Cup and have bought one, right? But the reason that marketing has worked so good is they're painting the picture of, how you're going to feel carrying your cup, how you're going to drink more water, the colors, how it's going to fit with your clothes and all the things you're going to do. They're painting such a great picture that you can't imagine not buying a Stanley Cup. Look at the crazy people at Target standing in line to buy a Stanley Cup. So are we doing that with our products? Are we talking about how they're going to feel? how they are going to show up to their family and friends events with confidence because they have had great success with the weight loss. How are they going to feel when one of their goals is to take their family on a trip and they are at that trip and looking around and saying, look what I have done? Are we painting that vision for them? Again, it's the education in that they are seeing themselves as part of the solution and as part of the outcome, and they have upped their belief. Okay, so let's jump in to some questions. And before I jump into some of those, just another point too, sorry, is we need to make sure we are not leading with objections. I see that as kind of one thing that we get nervous. And so sometimes we start like announcing the objections that we think are going to come. Like,
Hey,
oh, you know
Kerry.
what?
Hey,
I
Kerry,
know
super, Kerry,
I know
super
it's
quick.
expensive, but
Your slides aren't working. Your slides
oh,
aren't moving.
I can see them on my end. That's weird. Okay.
And if not, no big deal. I just wanted you to know. Keep
Oh,
going. If we can't see them, it'll be okay.
that's so weird. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. Oh, hang on. I am so sorry. What is happening? Anyway. Can you see them?
Yep. Yep. Now we
Okay.
can.
Okay.
Yay. Good job.
Thank you. Okay. So let's jump into some objections. So are we an MLM direct sales? I love that Beck touched on this because it is so true, but these first couple questions we still keep getting. That we are becoming mainstream, but we need to do a good job of educating people and to really break down some of those walls and the stereotypes that they have of this. So the one question I love is this an MLM direct sales? And I love to say, yes, it is. And pause. We need to get really good at leaving pauses for people to talk. It is natural in our nervousness. Prime example, that we talk fast, but the pause is a beautiful thing. Are you familiar? Let them be quiet and let them answer. And what I have found is so many people have had a bad experience, and so they want to talk about that. So we need to give them space. And then a great follow-up question is, what was your experience? This is a great to ask questions. We need to get really good at being a question asker. It allows you to know what their hesitations, what their previous experience has been. So when we are presenting, we are coming from the right angle to answer their hesitations and concerns. What would your ideal company look like? Again, most often people have had a bad experience, so we really want to just flip that conversation to a positive one, and we can address the things that we have to offer them. Next, I don't buy MLM products. I just saw on social media the other day, apparently there's this movement in your bio to put no MLM people friend me. Okay, well, again, we want to be not those people that they're referring to. We want to be showing up in the best possible way and communicate this to people. So I don't buy MLM products. Interesting. What led you to that decision? Again, these are just conversations that we want to give them an opportunity to talk. And I love to tell people, you know what I have found is some of the best MLM products from MLM companies. I love that we have the ability to work with somebody one-on-one and ask questions about sourcing and ingredients. Are you still seeing my screens? Everybody, sorry.
No, we are not. We are not.
Okay, well, let's
But
just.
you know what? We can share your slides. You can just keep
Yep,
going.
I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, and the next one is I don't have enough time. So I love this question because as a mom of many kids, it is so crucial to just acknowledge them where they're at. Okay. And so we want to remind them of the goals that that they have set. And I love to just always validate them and say, you know what? I hear what you're saying. Time is such a limited thing, and I value your time and I value my time. So I want to make sure we have the best possible systems for you. If I were to show you a blueprint that you could do with 30 consistent minutes a day to start out with, could you find the time? More often than not, yes. And again, they're talking about belief because they need to also have belief that someone is there to help them. They don't want to be doing this on their own. And so a second question I love to ask is, do you have a support for you right now to build this business? And I think that is so great. And I'm talking external support because they need to know you're in their corner, but they need someone outside in their corner as well. Um, and I am going to ruffle a little feathers here, but we also need to remind people this is a business and business takes time. Um, it is, we want them to be able to do it in the little nuggets of time they have, but we also don't want it to be unrealistic to them that they're going to make $10,000 a month sitting at the car line picking their kids up from school. We need them to know that that is a great time to work, but that is not going to build their business. And I love to find a relatable story for them. I love to plug them into a community that they can say, oh, you know what? Look at this mom. She had all this going on and she was able to build. And so, I love them just being able to find somebody that they can relate to. Okay, the next one, the products are too expensive. We have heard this time and time again. This works for canceling subscribe and saves, those things like that, reordering, getting customers. So I love to acknowledge them. Again, it always comes down into acknowledging them because people need to feel heard. And so I say, you know what? Inflation is really just a beast right now. It's affecting all areas of our life. But I don't ever want to agree with them that the products are expensive, but I want to acknowledge what they're saying. Do you see the difference there? Because if I agree with them, then when I say it's not expensive, then I've kind of dismissed what they've said. Um, and so I love to ask them, what is your budget? So often I find that people think they're going to spend thousands of dollars on supplements. And what they really don't know is that, we can make a good, better, best situation for them. And find their price point. And I am super respectful of people's money. And so I want them to know that I respect their money. And I love to get to the root of their goal, whether it's product or business. One question I love to ask is, tell me about a time you felt your best. And I let them tell me. And then I say, if I could help you get to that place again, could you find the money? Because we all know we will put money where we see value. Again, it comes down to the education piece. Are they seeing the results themselves in the results? Are they seeing the outcome so that they're like, I can't not buy this? And so I love asking that question. And then this is a great opportunity to talk about our subscribe and save rewards, our focus on 5, our referral program. And, hey, do you have 5 people, 5 friends that you would want to do this with? Because I would love to help you offset the cost of your products because I know how important this is to you and you have a goal to feel better. And then another one that I love, and this is more of not a question obstacle, but it's an internal obstacle that we all feel. And it is, we have had somebody join our business and they aren't doing anything, or in fact, they are completely ghosting us. Well, the one thing I love about that, and Andrea did a phenomenal job just talking about onboarding, is I think one of the biggest mistakes is we assume because they maybe found us through social media that they know how to do social media. Because they're a consumer, they know what to do. And then oftentimes they feel like they're kind of letting us down by not doing what the expectation that they put on themselves. And Beck talking about reels, it was a perfect example. So many people love to consume reels, but that doesn't mean they know how to do reels. And so we need to get very specific about nothing is too basic for them. I love to relate onboarding to a job description or an orientation. Nobody goes to a new job and hasn't read what the qualifications are for that job or the job description. And that is really what onboarding is. So we need to take a look at what our onboarding strategy is. What is the reason that they even joined you? If they only joined you for the community, talking business isn't going to make sense for them, okay? And so we need to really know what they joined for. And then another question I love to ask is, what are your intentions for this business? You know, we need to know what their outcome, what they want their outcome to be. And the reason I love intentions versus goals is because intentions gets to the real meat and potatoes of what they're willing to do, what the time they're willing to commit is, how many people are they willing to talk to. They A goal is something, yes, we want to get there, but the intentions are the steps it's going to take to get to that goal. So knowing what the goal is super important, but we need to know what the steps are they want to do to get through there. And then if you cannot get a yes, ask, can you check back with them later and set a date? And determine that date and say, hey, I will check back with you in them. And then also invite them into your community. There is so many times we need them to have dripped on before we get the yes. And sometimes it's a matter of seeing themselves in someone else's story and seeing themselves in someone else's success. And we can't possibly, tell them every success story because we don't want to word vomit on them. But when they get in a community and start seeing some of the success, we will likely see a yes because they will see themselves. Again, they need to see themselves in the outcome to get the yes. And then we need to remember, objections are natural. It is our natural defense. There are three things the brain is always asking itself repeatedly. Am I safe? Do I belong? And do I feel good or painful? Is this situation going to protect me? Is this situation going to get me to where I want to be? And so when we are operating from knowing what they're always internally asking themselves, we can come at that angle with reassurance and set them up for success. So I tried to be fast. I'm so sorry for the slides, but I am so excited to see you all crush your 2024.
Kerry, thank you so much for those great nuggets. And I hope that you're all realizing, hearing all these amazing speakers, the real importance of figuring out every step that is being talked about today are all things you're going to have to deal with. And just learning a few nuggets like how to handle objections is really important because it could make or break a sale for you, and more importantly, a long-term customer or brand partner.